movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the bottom. He's gonna let you know if you should stay home or if you should go. Might even yell if it's a spectacle. From San Francisco to Long Island. 'Cause nothing's better than a motion video.
It's Movie Time is produced and hosted by John DeSando. Listen to broadcast shows Fridays at 4:01 and 8:01 p.m. Read reviews and listen to shows online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Mary Yerina.
And this is It's Movie Time. And Mary, I tried to wear my inky black. That's what Hamlet would have said, yeah, how he describes it. But you have your dark blue on, and I have my dark blue on, so maybe we're close enough.
We're close enough.
But this movie we're doing today, Hamnet, did they misspell it?
They did not. It turns out that Hamnet was the name of William and Agnes Shakespeare's son. But in British culture at the time, Hamnet and Hamlet were interchangeable as names, as was the name Anne and Agnes,
yes,
which is
yes,
Mrs. Shakespeare.
Yes, right. So we're all kind of used to Anne Hathaway. And that's, of course, another confusion with the current actress.
Yes, it is.
But his wife, and they were really big shots in Stratford on Avon. My gosh, yeah.
They were, especially when he became successful.
I know.
And could afford the biggest house.
The biggest house
in Stratford on
Stratford.
Avon.
I was thinking, and I have to look it up, the miles between Stratford and London.
It's about 100 miles.
I knew you would know that. So imagine that on horseback must take a couple days.
Well, and at the time it was an arduous journey, but was very common.
Yeah.
For men who worked in London, they would be gone for months at a time because of the nature of the journey.
Yeah, wow. All right, so what's it about, Hamnet?
So Hamnet is based on the best-selling novel by Maggie O'Farrell, which was published in 2020 and was well-reviewed, much beloved, received numerous nominations and awards for historical fiction and fiction focused on women. And the reason for that is this story fictionalizes or dramatizes the life of the Shakespeares as a young couple falling in love, as they have children, and then the tragedy of losing their son and the overwhelming grief that they experience, and how through art, that is the creation of the play Hamlet, William grieved the loss of his son in a way that his wife previously didn't understand that he was grieving. So it's a very family focused and in many cases universal and modern tale.
Oh, thank you. That's
just in the characters from this era, and it was very emotional, very relatable, and the pedigree behind the film and the quality of the film is pretty astonishing.
And Chloe Zhao, how would we say her name, who did Nomadland?
Yes.
And boy, she is a crackerjack director.
And very organic in her process. It was interesting to listen to some interviews with her talk about how she may plan with her other creative team members how a scene is going to be shot, but then in the moment she's willing to change it based on what's happening with the actors and the lighting and whatever else may be impacting the environment, the environment in which they're acting. So it's a very, I think, realistic portrayal of the era. It's not Regency England. It's not neat and clean, and we're not looking at the aristocracy at this point in these people's lives, and so it's very raw and I think believable for the era.
Yeah,
and class.
I know a little bit later on you're going to fill us in on Phil Shakespeare's life. In fact, you'll be probably the first one ever to reveal his life. That's it. So he is so.
Don't count on that.
Right. He should have been living now, and he could have kept himself so quiet.
Well, I don't think he would have been on social media.
No, he would not have.
He was a pretty private guy.
And as a matter of fact, you're not going to learn that much real about Shakespeare. I think you've well explained the fact that it's a dramatization of what we think might have been like. And one of the things that I love about this movie that you presented there is it's Elizabethan England. It's 16th century England. And if you want to feel like this is the way it was, I think this film was the one. I think Chloe's got it. Visually, dramatically, I think she caught a different era, but it is so reflective of humanity. I mean, after all, this is the Renaissance. This is when humanity became flowered. And so they were interested in what made people run. And here, it's, we're not a whole lot different. It's easier for us to get between Stratford and London.
True.
And, really, the film is in two, as far as I'm concerned, in two parts. And the first part is their life in Stratford and the growing up of their children and the loss of their child, Hamnet. And the second part is set in London at the Globe Theatre.
And I wouldn't even say the second part, it's the final scene.
That's correct.
It's not a balance.
Probably the third act or something
right,
like
it's
that.
not balanced
It
50-50 between Stratford-on-Avon and London.
It's funny because for me, I'm just so, of course, in love with Phil Shakespeare, and I couldn't wait for that business, for the Hamlet business to come forth, and it was a delight. I would have to say one of the finest endings of any movie I've ever seen.
Wow, and you have seen a
And
lot
I've
of movies.
seen a few.
So that's
saying
something.
Jessie Buckley plays Anya, and when she does at the end, as she's watching the stage production of Hamlet, and the camera focuses on her and cuts sometimes to him waiting
In the wings.
She's speaking a few lines, but her reaction.
Yeah.
It's a splendid.
It's really a tour de force performance, and you and I had the privilege of reviewing her early breakout role in Wild Rose.
Yes, thank you.
And we loved her performance then. And fast forward, I think 7 or 8 years, and she still is delivering just incredible performances in everything she does. She was in Women Talking, among other films we've seen here and talked about. And she's just an incredible talent. And in the novel, which Maggie O'Farrell actually co-wrote this screenplay with Chloe
Thanks,
Zhao,
right?
Will isn't even referred to by name. He's referred to as the husband or the playwright.
I forgot that.
And this is really a film that's anchored, a story and a film that's anchored by Agnes, played incredibly by Jessie Buckley, as we've said. And there's a rawness to, the childbirth scenes and the losing of her son and the guttural anguish that she goes through as a woman who's loves her family, loves her children, loves her husband, even encourages her husband to go off to London because she sees that he's struggling as an artist. And in some respects, there's a parallel between him giving birth to his art and her giving birth to their family.
Thanks, yeah.
And the anguish that he's experiencing. And then when they lose their son, and she's resentful that he wasn't there, which again is universal throughout humanity.
Isn't it contemporary?
And very
How many
contemporary.
spouses today are split apart? Somebody gets a lucrative job somewhere else, has to travel there. I can't even forget how many people I know who have had to make these decisions.
Right. So it's universal.
Yeah.
It remains common throughout human existence. But the different ways that they're dealing with grief, and then the reveal of what he's been creating as a way to process the loss of their son is just beautifully done, very powerful. And we talk about Jessie's performance. There are very few lines in the final scene where she's watching this play unfold before her in its first ever performance. And even in the crowd shots, And she's wearing red through most of this, so she's clearly the heart and the center of most of the story when you see her with other people. But even in this huge crowd shot where you're only seeing, shoulders and above, she holds the camera and holds your attention just in how her face is showing you how she's processing what she's seeing before her. And it's really an incredible performance. She's already received so many nominations.
She
for
should
so
be a
many
forerunner
awards.
for
Absolutely.
the Oscar for this. Mary, one of the helps here, I think, is the color of her dress in that final scene. Isn't it reddish?
It's red.
It's red, yeah.
It's not a bright red
No,
like
but
we would view it by
but
today's standards, but
To
it's,
support what you're saying is Chloe makes sure that she is the center.
yes,
And
visually and in the context of the story. Anya's,
yeah.
this is from her viewpoint for the most part.
And Mary, you and I were talking about travel plans in the coming year. One of mine is to London, and I shall be within the day or two getting my reservations at the Globe Theatre.
Lucky you.
Right, this is the only one that I get tickets from before I get over there. It's so
As you
difficult.
should,
Yeah.
yes.
And I have been there, and I have been up in one of the middle rings of that. And do you know that they recreated that globe? Not only do we, in London now, you have the recreation of the original globe, this movie recreates it.
Yes, on a soundstage. Yes.
I know, isn't that something?
Well, it is something, because they shot most of the film on location in Herefordshire,
Okay,
I think.
Herefordshire, yeah.
So it has a very realistic feel to the period, and they did a wonderful job of recreating the globe.
Oh, yeah.
And giving you the sense of wonder, because Agnes has never been to one of
Right.
these productions in this story. We don't know that in real life, but her look of awe and wonder as she, like the crowd and the sets, and she pushes her way to the front of the stage.
Yes,
and
yes.
at first she doesn't understand. She thinks that
Oh,
they're
I love it.
blaspheming the name of her son,
Yes.
and dishonoring his memory.
A great line, why are you mentioning my son's name or something like that?
Yes.
She yells right up.
She yells right up in front of the
That's a great
stage,
line.
and her brother Bartholomew, who's accompanied her to this show to London, is trying to tell her to calm down,
Yes,
be
I
quiet.
love
But as it unfolds and we reach the culmination of the final scene, it's just so powerful, the recognition of grief and the processing of grief. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention all of the performances are outstanding.
They are. Well, Mary Yerina, this film is Hamnet, and our audience needs to go to WCBE.org, the podcast experience, and to Backtalk to hear more about what we have to say, including your biography of William
Which
Shakespeare.
will be about one sentence.
Mary, you have very literate friends, many of whom have seen this, I'm sure. But for our general audience, what do you advise?
Oh, this is a powerful film, but bring a box of tissues with you. But do go see it and experience it in a theater with others.
Oh, gotcha. The cinematography is just splendid.
Oh, truly.
It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends on